Okay, and I am live. Bring it back to my proper screen and proper screen and editor. Sorry. Okay, so I just wanted to do a really quick video. This isn't going to be very well, like super planned out one. I just feel kind of unsettled a little bit in that what's going on. I mean, I've been wanting to do a video on like what's going on with our sanctioning of all the different countries and their reactions and the history that a little bit of a relationship or background on what's been taking place with China and Russia since like 2012 and how they've been cozying up and you know um, the global tensions between like China and Russia, Iran, Turkey, just to kind of name a few. Along with just like I said, like we noticed today that happened in the stock market, it just has taken a serious nosedive, and a lot of pundits and people are saying that it could be going way going way lower. Sorry, I got a piece of gum. Got stuck. Anyway, there's certain people, gloom and doomers, that are full on saying we're in the crash right now and it's just going to continue to go and things are going to get really, really ugly. And then how I've been talking about how I've been noticing a lot of stuff with like the petrodollar and how countries are moving away from the petrodollar. And if that happens, bad things are going to happen to our economy. Oil has not been doing well. There's just a lot of factors. Like I mentioned before, we mix in the sanctioning that's happening in the world. And I just feel like there's something not so good on the horizon right now. And I don't know exactly what it is. There's so many crazy, like we're threatening war with China, a hot war with China right now. That's been escalating in the South China Sea for many, many months. We've been threatening Russia, getting closer to war with them. Russia and China have been seeing this coming. They've been talking about it for a long time. I'm not defending Russia or China. I think that China is doing some really terrible things to their people, and I think that Russia's no saint. But I also think this demonizing of Russia that we've been doing nonstop is crazy, because we are literally no better in a lot of ways than they are when it comes to um, the bullying that we like to say they're doing and how they're doing all these terrible things. Our propaganda machine here in the nation, our news sources, our media, our television, our movies, they prop us up as the saviors of the world. We're the good guys. And although I do love America, and I do think that I'm so thankful for our free speech and for our country and for the people of America. I think our government doesn't matter if you're left or right. It doesn't matter if it was Obama or Trump now in the office. They're corrupt as hell, and there is a power underlying it all. The deep state, that used to be a conspiratorial term. It's not conspiracy anymore. There really is powers underlying that pull most of the strings. And I just feel like, man, we're getting so close to a hot war, full on hot war with China. And if that happens, who knows if it'll be a skirmish or if it'll ignite a full-fledged, uh, you know, a full-fledged war with China. And if that happens, the dominoes start falling in a really, really bad way. And then we had that weird thing that happened with CenturyLink where it went down for the whole day a couple days ago, and then how some transformers blew up and some, nationwide, there was several transformers, the most notably the one in New York that blew up. And yeah, that could have just been a bad wind, or it could have been completely innocuous, or it could have been, and I don't say this, the Brookings Institute says it, or excuse me, not the Brookings Institute, the Council on Foreign Relations, which there's a lot to be said about them also. But, a year ago, they wrote a paper on how Russian hackers or foreign hackers are already in our systems and how we need to fortify our systems to keep them from being able to take it down. It's not a conspiracy theory. Now, whether it's going to actually happen or we've made the steps to stop it, that remains to be seen. But there has been, and make no mistake, we're doing it too. We're probably in these other countries' systems too. So tit for tat, they take our stuff down. Most likely we'll take theirs down too. I mean, for crying out loud, the Stuxnet virus. We were involved with that in Iran, taking down their nuclear. So we kind of cracked open that door. And even then it was said, we were the first ones who broke that treaty not to cyber attack another nation. You know, we tried to keep it under wraps for a long time that we didn't do it. It was anonymous, but then it comes out later it was Israel and us who did that to Iran. Whether you agree with the reasons why they were doing it or not, we opened up that door of full-on attack on another sovereign nation, via cyber attack. So, you add all these things up, and again, back to the South China Sea with our our standoff that's progressively getting closer to an actual hot war, and then the stock market, and then what our standing up to China, and then Turkey and China are getting closer, or Turkey and Russia are getting closer, and they're a NATO ally of ours, Turkey, but our relationships are deteriorating quickly with them and have been for quite some time. And obviously Iran, we don't like them. And I don't know. I just feel like some crazy shit's about to hit the fan. And maybe this unsettled feeling is something I eat for lunch today. I don't know. People who know me. I used to be really crazy, all up in the conspiracy theories. And I definitely have my theories, but I backed off those for a long time just because it was blowing my brain out to try to always think about, from 9/11 down to the moon landing to the JFK to, everything. It was just, and I realized there's a balance there, but this isn't really conspiratorial type stuff. This is open your eyes type stuff. We've been so focused on Donald Trump and the little spatty stuff he says and does, and says and does, and just focused on him the whole time. We have not been looking out as a people and realizing, man, what's going on in the rest of the world? What are we doing to the rest of the world? What are they doing to us? And really taking that into account, I think, like we should be, because there's been a lot of shit going on and no one's really paying much attention to it. And then with the whole how crazy the political correctness stuff is getting out of hand, and then that's used as an excuse, with hate speech and all this, that these platforms that really run most of our free speech as people here in the United States are starting to sanction down and cut down on left and right, but mostly on more of a conservative voice. There is a push of censorship going on in the United States, and that push has already happened hardcore in like China and in Vietnam and in some of these other more communistic or authoritarian ran countries. That crackdown's been happening for a long time, and that is I think a trend that is going to be sweeping the world, because this forum, this media, being able to just live stream from your garage and share information, contrary, that can be very factually based when you do your research and you look stuff up, and it goes against the narrative that you're told by the mainstream media. That needs to be snipped in the bud, and they're doing their best to try to figure out how they're going to do that. So anyway, this is just kind of some random thoughts. I didn't have enough time to really, because there's just so much bouncing around my head. Basically, it's just kind of there's an unsettled feeling I have inside, like something not so good is right about ready to happen. And I just really hope it was lunch and not something that because man, I don't, geez, things are pretty good right now in life. And we don't need anything crazy happening that's going to send shit sideways. Anyway, that's about it. SJG Perspective. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will talk again when I decide to put a video up. How do I stop this thing? Right down here. All right. Till next time. See you guys later. All right. Bye-bye. That didn't go as smooth as possible.